Good evening. Welcome to the first ever NYCLA Foundation musical fundraiser. My name is Barbara Moses. I'm the president of the New York County Lawyers Association. I love show business. As many of you know, the NYCLA Foundation serves as the fundraising arm of our Bar Association. The money raised by the NYCLA Foundation goes to our pro bono programs, it goes to our minority judicial internship program, it goes to our public service fellowships, it goes to our high school essay contest and our other civic education programs, and many other worthy programs sponsored by our association. That is why your contributions to the NYCLA Foundation are tax deductible to the full extent permitted by law. And that is why I know many of you have donated generously to NYCLA through the foundation in the past, and I know that many of you will donate generously in the future as well. But tonight, as an extra added bonus, you also get a musical comedy put on by a wonderful troupe of NYCLA members and friends who are hidden from you now in our backstage area over to my left. I would like to specifically thank Marty Stein. Stand up, Marty. As many of you know, is a longtime NYCLA member. She is a director of the NYCLA Foundation, and Marty conceived of the idea of having a spring musical fundraiser, and she executed that idea with the help of our past president, Stuart Ellerin, serving as her co-producer. Now, writing talent was provided by two young lawyers fresh from NYU Law School, Mike McMahon and Andrew Avorn. Where are you, Mike and Andrew? Right. Instrumental perfection comes to us from pianist Peter DeZoza and violinist Larissa Shapakova. And our extremely talented cast consists of lawyers and judges who obviously had a very hard time choosing between law school and Broadway. Including, in particular, our leading lady, Felicia Berenson. Stand up. Whose first career was in musical theater and is now an assistant district attorney, so prosecutorial discretion will be applied. And I would like to call out Judge Barbara Kapnick, who I believe will be playing herself and brought her own costume. I should probably mention at this point that two of the cast members who will be performing tonight were recruited ex officio, which means that President-elect Lou Tesser and I were not required to audition. That's a good thing or a bad thing, depending on how you look at it, because otherwise, at least speaking for myself, I don't think I would make it onto the stage. I would like to turn the stage over to someone who truly does belong on the stage, and who will tell you a little bit about our play, The Book of Betty, and about its subject, Betty. And that would be Marty Stein. Come on up, Marty.
Thank you, Barbara. How exciting to be part of the first musical fundraiser ever held at NYCLA. And how appropriate that the first musical fundraiser honors a woman who accomplished so many firsts for the women of New York. Betty Ellerin was the first woman appointed Deputy Administrative Judge of the New York City Courts. She was the first woman appointed Associate Justice of the Appellate Division First Department. She was the first woman appointed Presiding Justice of the Appellate Division First Department. She's a founder of the Women's Bar Association. and a long-time active member of NYCLA, where she's been on the NYCLA board, is currently on the foundation board, co-chaired NYCLA's task force on judicial independence, and with all that, a wife and mother of 3 children. Now, Betty is truly a trailblazer, and I could go on for a long time, but then we would have no time for a show. Tonight, let our little theater troupe comprised of starstruck lawyers and judges take you on a journey through the book of Betty. Now, I know that lawyers are supposed to avoid the appearance of impropriety, but tonight I say we embrace it. I say let the chips fall where they may. Now, please turn off your cell phones and sit back and on with the show.
President Clinton to consider proposal to expand Supreme Court to 11 justices. Another court packing plan? Well, I'm sure Chelsea will come to the right decision. Good morning.
Chief Judge Kaepernick,
Yes?
I've been researching the use of the doctrine of adverse possession in 17th century New Amsterdam for that footnote in the court's upcoming opinion.
Yes, and?
I've tried Westlaw, Bloomberg, Lexis, and I'm getting nothing.
Did you ever hear of using a book? Kids these days.
Well, the last time I was in the law library, I tried to grab one off the top shelf, and the whole thing toppled over on top of me.
Well, I know what you're talking about. I'm short too. The same thing happened to me. But look, let me try to help you out so you won't have any more trouble. Try this book. The court system does not have the budget for any more workers' comp claim these days.
Thanks. I appreciate it. Hey, Chief Judge.
Well, you know what? Just call me Barbara, or if you must, Chief Judge Kaepernick.
Okay, Chief Judge Barbara Kaepernick.
All right, whatever.
There's an inscription here in the cover.
Really? What does it say?
Barbara dear, now that you've passed the bar, your whole life is ahead of you. If you apply yourself, as I know you will, there is nothing on this earth you cannot accomplish. All my love, Betty. Who's Betty?
Who's Betty? Betty Ellerin, of course. You mean you've never heard of Betty Ellerin?
No, should I have?
Of course you should have. Everyone should have. Every female lawyer in New York should know who Betty Ellerin is. They should shout her name from the rooftops. Erect statues in her honor. Throw hilarious musical fundraisers singing about all the aspects of her life.
Okay, so
put that book away. Grab a pad. I'm going to tell you all about Betty, and you're going to write it all down. And together, we're going to tell the world about the first woman justice ever appointed to the Appellate Division First Department.
yes, Chief Barbara.
Okay, this is going to be great.
Hello, Betty. Well, hello, Betty. It's so grand to have
sis. Where's Betty?
She's still at school.
Does she know her Aunt Bessie is coming over tonight?
She knows she'll be here.
That's good. You know, Bessie always looks forward to talking with her, and she's such a good influence.
I don't know about that. My sister has very advanced ideas.
She's a strange one, all right. Bessie thinks women can do anything, and Betty listens to her.
Women doing anything a man can do? With ideas like that stuck in her head, how is Betty supposed to find herself a good husband?
But that's not what Betty wants, at least not yet.
I'll tell Betty what Betty wants. That's what mothers are for.
She tells me her ambition is to be a senator.
A senator? A United States senator?
And for that, she'll have to go to law school. In this country, you can't get into Congress unless you pass the bar.
She's a dreamer. Just how many lady senators do you think I meet at Hadassah?
Don't you think she's smart enough?
Well, of course she's smart enough, but who cares? A smart girl can still end up single.
Why do you say a thing like that? You know she's popular at school.
Oh, but it doesn't matter. Plus, what man wants to be married to a United States senator? She's not thinking clearly. Law? Whatever happened to love? Whatever happened to homemaking and true marriage and small children? Why is it every girl now wants a job to dream of? Whatever happened to love?
Love. Whatever happened to new thinking and fair progress and blind justice? Now doesn't our smart daughter deserve to rise above? Whatever happened to love?
Oh, there ain't no one like her to ever come before. How can we decide what she should desire more? And if she finds a job that fits her like a glove, what if she can't find love? Whatever happened to white fences
Minds open.
and homes happy?
Isn't Betty a girl we both should be proud of?
Whatever happened to love? Love. Oh, there ain't no one like her to ever come before. How can we decide what she should desire more?
And if she finds a job that fits her
And if
like
she
a
finds a job that fits her like a glove, what if she can't find love?
Bessie, come on in. We were just talking about you.
All good things, I hope. And look who I found right outside the door.
Oh, Betty, come give your mother a hug.
Everyone sit. I'll go put on a pot of coffee.
Not unless you want burnt coffee. I'll put on the coffee. You go get the Sara Lee out of the freezer.
So, Betty, how's school?
Fine. There's been a bit of a dust-up, though, in Washington Square Park recently. The police officers are going around and arresting all of the folk music artists who don't have the proper permits. I just don't think that's constitutional. When I'm a senator, I just don't know if I would ever let that happen.
Yes, Bessie, you're going to be a senator. I know you will. You can do anything you put your mind to.
I don't know, though. I mean, I don't know if I still want to be a senator. It seems like there's only one female, and she's from the state of Maine. I mean, do you really think New York will ever elect a female senator?
Well, probably the first one will be some politician's wife or something. But after that, the doors will be wide open.
I really
Are you still thinking of going to law school?
I really do still want to go to law school. I do want Bessie. But I don't know. With all the men coming back from the war, it just seems like business as usual. And Harvard still doesn't even admit women.
Forget about Harvard. Doesn't that college of yours have a law program?
Yes, it does.
You just have to get your foot in the door, Betty. Then you're gonna kick it wide open. I know you will. So many years you've daydreamed of making the law your life. No one could persuade you just to make someone a wife. Everyone says that females don't try cases or make deals. People say that women should raise children and cook meals. Women belong in the profession. Women can lead the lawyer's life. You'll go so far in raising up the bar. Women will be legal superstars. Years from now, when in law school, wondering what to do, stick to your ambition, to your heart, you must be true. Let the old boys ignore you if women are still taboo. You will rise, be recognized, and soon command your due. Women belong in the profession. Women can lead the lawyer's life. You'll go so far in raising up the bar. Women will be legal superstars.
Mr. Ruderman, there's a Betty Weinberg here I'd like you to interview. She's looking for a job.
We don't need any more secretaries.
No, she's looking for a position as an associate.
We need a female lawyer like fish need a bicycle. And just when we've trained her, she'll go off and have babies. Who needs it?
Oh, come on, we need a good, competent attorney. I've looked at her resume, and it looks like she'll fit the bill. And besides, she's already clerked for a lawyer.
A female lawyer, I'll bet.
That's right, Jane Present.
See, what did I tell you? They always look out for their own. Do you really think I should see her?
I've spoken with her. She seems pretty sharp. And, you know, we're going to need somebody soon for our maritime cases in federal court. We could start her out in the managing clerk's office, and if she works out, move her up.
All right, show her in. I'll give her a couple minutes.
This is my boss, Mr. Ruderman. Meet Betty Weinberg.
Good morning, young lady. This is a pleasure. I don't get to meet many women applicants.
I'm happy to be here. There aren't many law firms in Manhattan that will interview women.
Well, I pride myself on an enlightened attitude. Say, it must be hard for a woman in today's world to go to law school. I hear there's a lot of prejudice. Where'd you go to school?
New York University.
You mean that place in the village with all the beatniks and potheads? That place will never crack the top 10. Why'd you go to law school anyway? To get your MRS degree?
Oh, sure. I went to law school looking for a husband, and I looked around and saw all the great options and decided to stick it out and get my JD.
Well, I have no doubt that you read the books. But, do you know how to be lawyerly?
Lawyerly? Is that even a word?
It is now. Lawyerly. Whenever I hire someone less knowledgeable than I, and let's face it, who isn't less knowledgeable than I test through looking for the key. And when someone wants to work with me, I simply have to smirk with glee. I know exactly what they need. And even in your case, though you're the first female I've yet to face, don't worry, I'll know if you can succeed. And not just read, 'cause yes indeed, can you be lawyerly? Can you be lawyerly? In court, can you stand up there without any cares for the facts nor for the law? Can you be bold as grass and talk out your ass when you know your case is flawed? And be lawyerly. You've got to be lawyerly. You've got to have sharp instincts, know what hoods to wink when your case is gonna blow. So let's see, I think you've got an awfully long way to go.
Don't be surprised by my frank response to you. Think of it as feedback on the interview. Now that I've decided to become a lawyer, counselor and attorney, let me just say firstly that when it comes to lawyerly, I know about lawyerly. I can be tough as nails and work with the males. I'm not a little butterfly or bee. There's nothing that can stop me. I can be your lawyer. La, 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 la. I can be just as lawyerly. But let's get just one thing clear. I won't lie or cheat or steal. One day I'm going to be a senator. In Washington you must earn trust. You can't be there unless you're honest. So I'll shoot straight and narrow. I'll stick to the law, but still be lawyerly. I know about lawyerly. I've got the aptitude and my mind is shrewd. And I know I can really be very, very lawyerly, like you.
Why, Miss Weinberg, you've won me over. You start on Monday.
I'll see you then.
This will be interesting. And I had to press to see if she's the best, but I know clandestinely she's gonna be a great one, our best new attorney. La 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 la, she'll be lawyerly, maybe be more lawyerly than me.
I'm so glad you could be here for me, Betty. I haven't seen much of you since you graduated.
Jane, I wouldn't have missed your wedding for the world.
It's not every law clerk I've wanted to have as my bridesmaid. You were special.
I learned an awful lot working for you, Jane.
Well, here's another piece of advice. You see that man over there?
I'm not really sure who you're... Oh, him. He's been staring at me all night.
Well, your firm needs a law clerk, doesn't it?
Yes, I'm surprised you know that.
Well, you could use a beau. And he's from Connecticut, and you are too. And he's just back from the war in Korea. And I know he's looking for a job.
I'll talk to him.
But you could do worse.
I'll talk to him.
Well, keep talking, and then I'll leave it all to you.
How do you do? I'm Milton Ellerin. I couldn't help noticing you. You're in the wedding party. Are you related to Jane Cresant or Ben Gilman?
Neither. I used to clerk for Jane Cresant.
Well, then we have something in common. I'm a lawyer too. Or I used to be. I've been overseas.
Are you looking for a job?
Sure. Do you know of any openings?
I'm at Klein and Ruderman. I'm the managing law clerk there. We're looking for a new law clerk. You'd be responding to me, though. What do you say?
I'll give it a try, but only on one condition.
What's that?
That you let me take you out.
Well, you certainly do work fast. When?
Every night.
You certainly do drive a hard bargain.
I do. Let's say I call for you tomorrow at 7. We can have dinner at the Harvard Club.
You just lost me there, Buster.
What do you mean?
The Harvard Club has a separate entrance for women. It's demeaning. I make it a point not to have anything to do whatsoever with anyone who's even a member of the Harvard Club.
I see you're a woman of strong convictions.
On certain things. My aunt raised me to be a feminist from the age of 3.
Well, I just came back from a war zone. I don't think I'm looking for any more battles.
I don't fight with everyone on everything, you know.
I just ran right into you. Cupid, his bow he has drew. It gives me such a great rush. All of your feminist stuff. With this fine plan I've contrived to make Miss Weinberg my wife. For your heart I must sue. I just ran right into you. Must be your spherical hair. No one else can compare. I found the one that I want. Thanks to this Jane Cresant. At her ceremony, I found the woman for me. I just ran right into you. You gorgeous 5 foot tall. I love you, Betty, and if it's quite all right, I'll take you, Betty, out on the town tonight. I promise, Betty, that we will stay away. Oh, pretty Betty, oh, from that Harvard place, and little Betty, with me you'll stay, and let our work to Betty, let me work you.
Hold it, Buster. I'm just offering you a job. But you can pick me up tomorrow at 7. And don't be late.
late tonight, Betty?
I just spent the last couple of hours at the Sheldrick Democratic Club. Milton, if I want it, I can have the Democratic nomination for civil court judgeship. I don't know. I've been working for Harry Frank for 20 years now. But if I got elected, that would be the end of that. I don't know, though. If I lost, I don't think I could go back to clerking. And I don't know if I want to go into private practice.
What do you mean, lose? You're a Democrat in a Democratic town. No Republican can win in New York City.
That's true, I know, but I really think I want to be a judge. I mean, I've watched Harry do it for so many years, I really think I could do the job. And I don't know, maybe the powers that be at some point would finally see that a woman can serve it with distinction even on a higher court. And if they do,
I see.
I'd be ready.
Today the civil court, tomorrow the world.
Back when I was younger, for long I would hunger in my crib. I would lie, pretend my rattle was a gavel. Then I started working in court. I was clerking, writing words all day long for some judge to say, paid my dues, done my time. Now it's time to preside. Got my facts learned, got my mind ready, and I need now is the room. Got my law learned, got my hair burned. I've got the brains and I've got connections. Now all I need's a bench that's in session. I'm back on the fast track. You check your cold rack for my room. 'Cause I've got guts and I've got convictions. Point me towards the appellate division. It's time that I must preside. All I need now is the room.
Betty, Ed Koch is holding a press conference at Gracie Mansion.
How's he doing?
Terrible! He's blaming your judges for overcrowding in the city jails. He's calling for an emergency meeting with you.
Can't I even get my hair done in peace?
You'd better get to that press conference.
These lazy, good-for-nothing judges couldn't send a defendant upstate if their lives depended on it. I didn't become mayor just to see the city justice system become soft on crime. That's not how you get a bridge named after you.
Listen, Ed, when I was appointed as the chief administrative judge for the city courts, I said to you, look, Ed, if you've got a problem, pick up the telephone. Don't go to the newspapers. Alexander Graham Bell invented it for a reason. And what are we doing instead? We're duking it out in another press conference.
Jails are overcrowded. We've got lawsuits up the wazoo, and all your judges want to do is go home early on holidays. In Chicago, they're letting criminals out of prison and onto the streets for just this reason. Is that where New York City is heading?
I will not have you talk about my judges this way. I had my judges keep a tally of every time your probation department delayed the production of a prisoner, and that's why justice was delayed. And you know what they found? More often than not, your probation department didn't bring up the prisoner, and so there was no prisoner to sentence.
Criminals we pursue, you should do better. We pursue criminals better than you.
No, you don't.
Yes, we do.
No, you don't.
Yes, we do.
No, you don't.
Yes, we do. Yes, I do.
When you produced criminals, you couldn't be later, leaving my judges with nothing to do.
No, we don't.
Yes, you do.
No, we don't.
Yes, you do.
No, we don't.
How am I doing? How am I doing? We can close a case with the greatest of haste.
All I'm seeing lately is delay and disgrace.
All you want's publicity.
What's wrong with that?
Aye.
Don't be a brat.
It's hard to solve problems in front of these cameras.
I agree, Betty, so let's do a lunch. So how am I doing? People, I said, how am I doing?
It really is such a thrill to have been appointed to the 1st Department Appellate Division. I'm so nervous, though.
You really impressed Governor Cuomo with how you handled old Ed Koch. I'm not surprised he appointed you at all.
Well, thank you. I hope you're right. I don't know, it's just overwhelming. There's so much I don't know.
Just model yourself after the great associate judges.
Like whom?
Like me?
Okay. Any pointers?
Well, it's improper for a justice to admit, so I'll let my clerk tell you.
We will affirm without opinion. We'll close the case in record time. Call the reporter and dictate the order, and we'll all be out of here by 5. Why even bother with reversals? Oh, they're boring and take so long to write. Who are we fooling? Uphold the ruling and catch the other train home tonight. We will not bother to write new law. We'll just sustain things as they were before. Ooh, we'll place a ban upon dissenting, 'cause nobody reads them anyway. How could it hurt us to grant an affirmance, and then we'll have the time to play? We'll end the backlog that now exists. We'll grant respondents each and every way. don't waste our time now by appealing. We'll rubber stamp the court below. We may be spineless, but we'll be behind this if we just affirm. Oh, we really should affirm. For God's sakes, let us affirm.
Hey, Bentley, you heard the news?
What news? Nobody ever tells me anything around here.
We have a new presiding justice, and you'll never guess who the governor appointed.
You mean my time has finally come?
Don't be ridiculous. It's Betty.
Betty? Betty Ellerin? I didn't even know the governor even liked her.
One lousy opinion. That's all it took. Parks versus Steinbrenner.
Steinbrenner is in George Steinbrenner of the Yankees? Refresh my recollection.
That was a case where George Steinbrenner called an umpire who worked during a strike a scab. Later, after the ump threw a couple of Yankees out of some ball games, Steinbrenner came out with a press release calling the umpire incompetent. The umpire sued for defamation, and the ump won.
I didn't know Betty was a Red Sox fan.
No, you nincompoop! Betty reversed the decision on appeal and held for Steinbrenner. Steinbrenner was thrilled.
And I bet he had some juice with the governor.
That he did, but with nothing going on in the World Series for 5 or 6 years, he had little else to be proud of.
And best of all, Betty stood up for a fundamental principle of American liberty.
Freedom of expression?
No, heckling it up at a ball game.
With a little nudge from the boss, the governor appointed Betty to be the first female presiding justice in the first department.
I always knew she was a champ. They say that Timmy once gave her the eye. Ernst often whistled as she fluttered by.
And Bentley called her a regular guy. That's why the lady is a champ.
She's written opinions with wit and with verve. And when she's dissenting, she's got lots of nerve. She's a perfect role model for young lawyer girls.
That's why the lady is a champ.
They say that she is sharp as a tack,
Quick with crack.
soft touch
Not much.
on jurisprudence. She's put her own stamp.
That's why the lady is.
That's why the lady is. That's why the lady is a champ.
Betty, after all these years, you are going to retire?
Retire. Justice Tom, they're gonna have to take me out of here kicking and screaming.
Well, I know that I'm certainly going to miss helping you care for those orchids. As is commonly known, I'm the orchid expert. And speaking of the care and feeding of our natural resources, I'm sure that you know about the mandatory retirement age.
Of course I know, but when they wrote that, they certainly had not met me yet. I mean, I can do this job just as well now as I could the day that I was appointed. I could keep practicing until I'm, I don't know, 90, maybe 100, right here. Maybe when I'm 100, then I'll retire. Ooh, then I can run for Senate. I'd fit in great then. I'd finally be the median age over there.
Well, if anyone can do all of those things, you can. But you know, rules are rules.
I know.
Maybe you should become a mediator.
It's true, I could. I know what the retirement age is, and I'm gonna do what I have to. But trust me, this isn't the last New York has heard of Betty Ellerin.
Oh, we know, Betty. No one will forget Betty Ellerin.
They thought they could inhibit us. They put up a glass wall. I shattered every obstacle, and now I rise above.
I do declare, Mr. Gearcombe, that we have a problem here at Alston and Lloyd.
Wow, whatever can that be, my dear Mr. Cambria?
Ever since our little old southern law firm has moved to big, bustling New York City, our litigation department has felt more lost than a gator in the Walmart parking lot. It really deals my pickle.
But everybody knows Austin and Bird is in Atlanta, and everybody knows Atlanta is the New York of Georgia. Wow, we even got named one of the best places in America to work by Forbes magazine.
A law firm as the best company to work for? Crazier than a June bug in July. But I reckon you're right.
Well then, whatever shall we do about it, my dear friend and confidant?
Well, I recently received a call from Roy Reardon, Esquire Extraordinaire, and he did declare to me that none other than Betty Ellerin is retiring from the bench. She's looking for a new perch for her partridge, and I think that she's the right Yankee to lead us out of this quagmire.
Well, Jiminy Cricket, what a splendid idea. Why, if we were able to land Betty Ellerin for our firm, that'd make me happier than a catfish at a catfish party with food and stuff.
Shall I invite her to luncheon with us?
Indeed, she will be unable to resist our southern charms.
Austin will land its bird before you can say...
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious!
Whatever you say, Carl.
Your case is a dog, Ashley, and you know it!
Alex, I'm telling you, when that jury gets a look at those emails, we're not going to just be talking huge damages. We're going to be talking that your client is going to jail.
Ha! Your client can't even afford to go to trial. She'll be in Chapter 11 by next Tuesday.
Alex, there's got to be a better way to settle this case. When I filed it, I was 6'5", I weighed 300 pounds, and I had hair like Bill de Blasio's kid.
The trial's only a month away.
What are we gonna do? Mediate?
It would take one superstar mediator to work out this case.
Well, have you ever heard of jams?
Oh, sure. Boysenberry preserves, grape jelly, orange marmalade.
Marmalade's not a jam, you dunderhead. It's a preserve. No, I'm talking about jams, the Arbitration and Mediation Service.
Oh, right, the Judicial Arbitration and Mediation Service. Right. Isn't Betty Ellerin in that?
If anyone can get us out of this mess, it's Judge Betty.
5, 6, 7, 8. Now put your hands together. Everybody, clap your hands. Whoa, Judge Betty.
Go, Judge Betty, go to jams.
Get wild.
Go to jams, go let's get wild.
Go to jams, said the one about a thing.
Go to jams, let's settle it.
Go to jams, oh, Judge Betty.
Go to jams,
oh, Judge Betty.
go to jams.
She really treats us fair.
Andrew Cuomo. I approve this message.
And I'm Betty Weinberg Ellerin.
Corruption in New York. Sounds crazy, no? But in our little state of empire, you might say that a few of our beloved politicians have stepped over the line. Now, folks, I know it ain't easy to have a part-time job that pays 80 grand a year and run a political consulting job on the side. You might ask, what's the governor gonna do about it? Without actually doing anything about it. That, I can tell you in one word, commission. The Moreland Commission, we're gonna shine a light where the sun don't shine. Albany, bada bing. I predict the Moreland Commission will be so successful that I will be able to shutter it after just 9 months. Zazazoo. Justice Ellerin, I think that you would give the Moreland Commission the gravitas that it deserves. I would be honored if you were to serve on it.
Thank you, Governor. I agree, and I will serve on it. But there's a condition. It has got to be an independent commission that really has the right to investigate, to call witnesses who are sworn, to serve subpoenas, etc. To do that, we have to be deputized as assistant attorney generals. Agreed?
Fair enough.
Must run for re-election, raise a lot of money, remodel his house, and who has the right win in the state assembly to have a little quid pro quo? Lawmakers, lawmakers, commission, lawmakers, lawmakers, commission. Who was forced to make Albany his home? A second home, a trip to Rome. Who must feed his family on state contracts? It won't look bad if no one asks. Lawmakers, lawmakers, commission, lawmakers, lawmakers, commission.
Last year I won a Senate seat and now my mortgage is paid. Vito Lopez picked my interns out. I hope they're pretty.
Albany, like to steal and bribe. Now that the Moreland's gone, we don't even have to hide.
Lawmakers, lawmakers, commission, lawmakers, lawmakers, commission.
Tonight, we are here to present the 2013 New York Law Journal Lifetime Achievement Awards. This evening, we honor 16 of the New York Bar's greatest. Joining me on the dais, we have former Chief Judge of the Court of Appeals, Judith Kaye. Former Governor, Mario Cuomo. Mass
Sheila Birnbaum. Judge Jack Weinstein. Former Manhattan District Attorney Robert W. Morgenthau. And former Presiding Justice of the Appellate Division, 1st Judicial Department,
Over little old me.
Betty, when you were on the bench, I was in private practice. I always looked up to you. I've always admired your drive, your tenacity. I still do.
I like how you stood up to Ed Koch. When I was mayor, he was always bragging about how he ran New York. Glad you stuck it to him.
Betty, in my many years of practice, I've been before you numerous times, and it's always been a pleasure. You are a fair and fabulous jurist.
Thank you, Sheila.
I like your legs.
It's right.
Listen, you're all big shots, very important people. Why do you all care about me?
Well, we all adore you, Betty. No one loves the law more than you, and we love you for it. We're your biggest fans.
Betty Ellerin, the first female active judge. Betty Ellerin was chief acting judge too. Betty rocked it as a female active judge. How could we measure the fault you do? In cases, in dockets, in late nights, in cups of coffee, in minutes, in hours, in things that she saw. Betty Ellerin, the first female active judge. How can we measure her life in law? She's made of glass. She's made of sass. She's made of brass. She's made of it all. She loves the law. She loves the law. Betty Ellerin, the first female active judge. She broke the glass ceiling 'cause that was her plan. Betty rocked it as a female active judge. How can we measure the life of a woman so grand?
Things that she wrote, for all those who yearn for Betty by their side.
The story never ends. Let's celebrate the great career of Betty Ellerin. Betty
All right, so I have a few thank yous to make. First of all, I want to be sure to thank, I have a very old friend from high school who is volunteering his time here today, these speakers, and is working the soundboard. It's my friend Brad Langer. So I'm also told that it's Lou Tesser's birthday. He's the president-elect of NYCLA. He's right over here. So we wouldn't have been able to to pull off this show without several people. So first, and we have some flowers that we're going to be giving out, so if you can come up. So first, Marty Stein, who did such great work here. And Felicia Berenson, what a great performance. And last but certainly not least, our guest of honor, Weinberg, Ellerin. And this is the first of a tradition, hopefully, so Betty gets to say the final words tonight.
Okay, thank you. First of all, weren't they just wonderful? Maybe not 100% accurate, but wonderful nonetheless. When they asked me, about 6-7 months ago, would I mind, if they did this? I said, listen, I'm a good sport, sure, why not? And I'm a ham anyway. I thought they'd write a real part for me, but instead, they wrote it for someone who really can sing, and it's terrific. And I am so pleased that it was Felicia, because if I started to sing, that would have emptied this hall 5 minutes after we started. This really has been a wonderful evening for me, and I needed it at this particular time, as you can see. The active person that I've been for most of my life is having a little bit of a setback, but it's not going to last very long. And unfortunately, Milton, you did a great job on Milton. Unfortunately, I just lost him about 6 weeks ago after 6 years of marriage. He would have loved this tonight, and so I'm loving it for both of us. I want to thank all of you for coming. I want to thank particularly Marty for starting this tradition. And I hope it worked out as you had hoped it would. And each of you are absolutely superb. I just met tonight someone who's going to be a fellow arbitrator, Mr. Minkoff. I just hope we don't have to sing, because he'll win hands down in that regard. And all of you, many of us have been in shows together before, but this really, I can't tell you how much this touched me to have so many people in the audience who have played such a role in my life. I hope you all enjoyed it. And now let's go into the reception and have some fun.